What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Hey, today we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Scentual Obsessions. And this fragrance is going to be inspired by a Creed fragrance. So later on, we're going to do a much more in-depth dive of Scentual Obsessions as a house and the type of offerings that they have. But since this was sent to me by a friend, I just want to almost coat the palette with what I should be anticipating for the caliber of fragrances I'm going to come across later down the road with this house. So strap up and let's see if this is a banger. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon. Today, from the house of Scentual Obsessions, we have S.O. Santal. Can we get some light here? There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right, and this is supposed to be an inspiration of original Santal. There's no lack of clarity about that. It says right here on the website, inspired by original Santal from Creed. I don't really get any notes, so I don't know if there's difference in the note structure other than that it is trying to go after this. So as far as notes, we will refer to Fragrantica's listing of original Santal from Creed. But most of the time when cloning and stuff like that is happening, they're not using every single note that is listed in the composition. So I won't really speak to accuracy of what notes are there and not. This is more of a review about, is this fragrance good? Should you have it? And let me get a test strip. I'm not going to put this on skin because as you guys can see, are you able to see that? There's not that much juice because I've been wearing it, it's a very likable scent in terms of the cleanliness. It smells like fancy soap, fancy simple soap. And I haven't smelled original Santal from Creed in like a year, I want to say. So I don't want to refer back to my distant memory of it because as you guys know, between then and now, I've probably smelled thousands of fragrances. If you don't believe me, just look at the channel video vault. So I'm not going to spray it on my skin because mainly I know it performs like a freaking beast and I don't want to, have that on because it's nighttime. So, and I don't remember there being much transition in this actual fragrance. So initial impressions from the test strip is going to be fine. I have a lot of wearing experience with this fragrance as of late. And so if you've never smelled original Santal, put that on the shelf for a second. This version right here smells a lot like Mont Blanc Legends Spirit, the white bottle. It's a very clean scent. It's actually a little bit smoother than Spirit, not by much. The first initial blast from this fragrance, it's going to feel a bit sharp, a bit synthetic, but very quickly it gets soft enough edges. Now, the fragrance overall does kind of evoke a similar to Greenwich, not scent profile, but in terms of style, and I'll elaborate in a second, is reflective of some kind of like the dilemma sometimes with, Sedley, Greenwich Village, what are some of the other ones? Greenlee, Lafayette Street, some of the clones of Imagination, even Imagination sometimes, it can kind of smell like a really expensive multi-purpose cleaner or cleaning product. And so that is something you're going to have to put your mind around. Like, is smelling super clean and kind of being reminiscent of cleaners and stuff like that okay with you? Then you're going to actually find a lot of utility in this. If that's very off-putting to you, I wouldn't go near this fragrance because it does have that kind of scent memoryness to it. The more I sit with this fragrance, the more it really settles down. After about the first 20 minutes of wearing it, it really gets soft edges, but it's still a fairly sharp fragrance. It's a sharp fragrance with soft edges. It's actually even smoother than Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, to be quite honest with you. But I get a kind of light but pungent, woody, airy soapiness. Almost on that white bar soap, white linen, touch of aromatic greenness, maybe a little touch of bergamot or some kind of citrus, and Yeah, that's about it. It punches like crazy. I remember in my wearing experience with this, getting 8 hours out of this was like so easy. And that's probably because it is a parfum extrait. So the concentration's super high. Sometimes with a lot of these more synthetic accords and things like that, you can push a fragrance a lot further in life. But let's go ahead and switch windows here so we can look at the notes. Original Santal is quite popular. Again, we're only looking at this because when I go to the actual website, I don't get notes. But if you're interested in these fragrances, they're very affordable. 30 ml for 40, 50 ml for 60. Not all of these fragrances are priced that way. It depends on what collection they come from. But as you can see, Original Santal is classified as a oriental, woody, very aromatic fragrance launched in 2005. And it's got a 4 out of 5 out of 3,000 votes. So it's not mass appealing in terms of a lot of people buying it. In terms of how we view other mass appeal fragrances in the designer and niche world, but it's extremely popular. Most people, buy it and like it. And it's just a good staple, highly versatile scent that I think many people do actually love. I wouldn't say it's like signature, maybe in its category, but I still don't think that, especially since it reminded me of Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. But it's kind of just a super versatile fragrance that everybody can enjoy. I think of this the same way I think about like Green Irish Tweed and stuff like that, where I think a lot of people are super impressed by Green Irish Tweed. I'm not so much. I find it to be extremely versatile and quality, but I just kind of get bored of just like straight cut, straightforward, greenery, outdoors, freshness, soap, and all that. I need it to normally have a little bit more oomph because I feel like with a lot of those scents, once you have one or two of them, you really don't need to visit it anything else unless it actually has some kind of further depth to it. Without speaking to the closeness of the DNA here, let's just zoom out real quick and talk about some usual suspects and kind of wrap up. So again, it's been a while since I've smelled Original Santal, so I'm not going to say it's accurate or not. It feels very close, but I felt like in my past, Original Santal had a little bit more depth, even in its simplicity in terms of texture, than this fragrance. But I think as a utility fragrance, this is going to do everything you need it to do, especially with the added performance. It'll basically be eternal, north of 8 hours. I told you the vibe of it, the scent profile, the pricing. This is year round. I mean, you do take a shower every day, right? I mean, I hope so. You do use soap, right? So this is going to smell like that. Imagine, you get out of the shower and whatever bar soap or shower gel or anything that you use, you get out of the shower, and right when you get out of the shower, you catch a couple wafts of that soapy cleanness, right? But inevitably, once you put your clothes on, you go outside, you sit in your car, you kind of lose a lot of the pizzazz unless you really are like an Axe body spray, Axe shower gel type of person where you're using like an extremely heavily perfumed, scented body wash or bar soap. And you still smell fresh, but it's very much a skin scent in terms of the scent profile. So this is kind of like the scenario where if you wash your body with bar soap and you want to be able to get out of the shower and project 2 to 3 feet of kind of that bar soap feel. Again, this feels a little bit more elegant than a bar soap, but that's the nature of this is, again, this super white, soapy, slightly green, very light, airy, woody kind of backdrop. You can get that glorified skin scent of soapiness fresh out of the shower with a little bit more projection and carry that with you for about 8 hours plus. So if you're in the realm of that kind of appetite, definitely check this out. It does say unisex, but to me, I don't like smelling a woman that smells soapy. In fact, I don't recall ever being in that type of situation much, but I don't imagine I would enjoy it. Give me the floral touches, give me the bombastic stuff. I'm fine with all of it. The stuff that kind of evokes girliness or womanliness, but clean bar soap just seems like a type of profile women don't wear or shouldn't wear. I don't know. I know after saying that, I need to say this. Women, if you feel differently about anything that I just said, please, here's where you bark at me in the comments, because I'm not a woman. So I'm just projecting my own thoughts onto you. What kind of soapy fragrances do you wear? And do you need them to have flair, or do you like something that's just straight up and down soapy? Now, I know women wear a lot of like natural angelic stuff and floral stuff, but as far as like a fragrance that smells like soap or like a cleaner or something like that, name me a fragrance that you wear that's in that category if you like it. That way my mind can be changed. But I see this more as masculine leaning, because it just imitates a lot of, kind of bar soap stuff that men would wear. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's year round type of fragrance. Especially with it being a parfum extrait, it'll hold up in all the elements. Usually fragrances like Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Versace, Mano Fresh, and Pour Homme, and Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue and stuff like that normally would get annihilated in the fall, winter. This fragrance won't. The concentration is quite high. I feel like when you're dealing with more synthetic compounds and whatnot, you can get them to punch a lot longer, with different fixatives and whatnot. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. And the reason why is because it is average. There's nothing special about it. The one thing that might push it to an 8 for some of you who like this type of profile is the fact that you get monstrous amounts of performance. But I feel like, for instance, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit does last a long time. But yeah, I just feel like as a scent profile, it's quite simple, which is okay. It's quite sharp, not like blade sharp, but the kind of synthetic punch is there that imitates a lot of like the Mont Blanc fragrances, for instance, which is why I don't like that house. I feel like this one rounds it out a little bit better, but I wouldn't really reach for this a lot. It's kind of one of those scent profiles where once you kind of have one or two variations of it, that's your daily driver. You don't need different variations of soap, at least in my mind, but I could be wrong. Pretty well done though. Pretty high caliber juice. Like if you're into this, I think the price point is very solid, and the juice isn't synthetic in a bad way. And it is a decent formulation. What I am curious about in the future though, is with some of the more complex inspirations, how they're able to establish weight and depth of field in their juice, because this is a fairly straightforward, simple DNA. So it's like you should really be able to nail the OG with something like this, because there's not a lot going on to begin with. So you can kind of focus on the texture of the fragrance as opposed to the scent profile. The scent profile is probably extremely easy to make, I would imagine. Ageless. Again, I feel it's unisex, masculine leaning. Don't ask me why. It just feels that way. But I think men and women could totally wear it. There's nothing about this that feels explicitly manly or not. Sprays on this, I'm going like, if I'm going outside here and there, I might go 4 to 6. But I feel like with this fragrance, like 4 is going to be plenty. You might choke yourself out, especially since it has a lot of punch out of the bottle. Alternatives to this, really Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, I think will get you in the door with this, or just get straight up the OG. I feel comfortable not really giving you guys an assortment of stuff. Those two are profile wise. It's like either just get the OG, get this because it kind of sits in the middle price point and gives you more performance, or go with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit at a super discounted price. And you'll probably have just a little bit shy of this performance, because I think this was 8 hours plus in the couple times that I did wear it. And with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, I typically got like 4 to 6 hours, I believe. Anyways, this was Scentual Obsessions SO Santal, a inspiration of original Santal from Creed. And it's a 7 out of 10 for me, but I think that's a pretty good score considering the type of scent profile. I'm excited to try some of the more future combos. I do want to get, quite a few fragrances from this house, because I've heard people say great things about Kevin. I believe that's the name of the guy who runs this business. And so I'm always looking for inspiration houses to put you guys onto, to be able to get stuff more affordably if you don't have the coin to get niche, or you want to be able to build up a collection and allocate funds towards getting more, as opposed to just kind of shopping for straight killers, but having a small collection. Everybody's at a different place and a different intent in their journey. and I'm pretty pleased with what this provided. And in the couple days that I wore it, I did actually enjoy it. It didn't blow me away, but it made me feel fresh and clean, and catching wafts of it on the daily with a 2-3 foot projection was quite nice for a clean, fresh fragrance. So with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. I'm going to throw some videos up for you guys to check out based off what you've been searching for. But let me know, guys, what fragrances from Scentual Obsessions should I be considering? What are the best juices? I'll definitely love to pick up a collection from there to review more of them for you. And let me know, like, when it comes to clean, fresh, soapy type of fragrances, what stuff are you guys reaching for as your daily drivers? So sound off in the comments. Talk to me. I do talk back. And until next time, I hope you guys stay blessed. Peace.